Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here again with my husband Riley.
Hi.
And we're gonna share our relationship story. I always like to hear other people's, how they met and fell in love and all of that. So we're gonna share ours today.
Yeah.
So first, it all began in 2011. So why don't you start with saying what you were doing?
I was in college, about to graduate, and I was graduating and I went to a job fair, and I talked to like UPS and stuff, and it was boring, and the person that I went to the job fair with left, and then I saw a booth for the camp we worked at, and I was like, okay, and I went over there, and it was great, and I was so excited, and and I got to fill out the form, and I was like, this feels right, and so I was stoked, but I was graduating.
So at the same time, he was in Texas here, I was in North Carolina, and it was after my sophomore year of college, and I had already signed on to be a tour guide, which was all through college, that was my job. I worked part-time, like 20 to 30 hours a week doing tour guiding, and so I had signed up to do that during the summer, and I was going to stay at school during the summer to do that. And I had a dream one night that I was a camp counselor, and it was such an intensive emotional dream that I woke up, and within like 48 hours I applied to 9 different camps to work at to be a camp counselor, and 8 of them were around North Carolina, Virginia, Maryland, which is where I grew up, and then one of them was in the middle of nowhere in Texas, and I don't know why I really applied to that one. It was so random because I thought I would definitely find one of the other 8. Well, it turns out that the other 8 were already fully hired. They weren't looking for anyone, and so I was just left with one option, which was the camp we met at. So anyway, I interviewed with that camp, and they said they looked forward to having me on board for the summer. So I flew to Texas for 12 weeks, was it? 14 weeks?
The end of May till halfway through August.
It was quite a long time. And so you went out, you finished up school.
And then I went to camp. I didn't go at the did you at the very beginning to do the water training?
Yeah, I did.
Came after that, so I went a little bit after you. But I stayed the whole time, and you stayed the whole time, and it was fun.
But here's the catch. We didn't start dating until
3 years after?
Yeah, 3 years later.
Because we were dating other people.
We were both dating other people at camp. Do you remember meeting me? I don't remember meeting him either. I wouldn't even describe us as like friends. I mean, all the counselors at camp were friendly, but we weren't close by any means.
No, you did Bible study in the mornings, and you did stuff that I went to, and so that's how I knew you.
Yeah. I always thought your gray hair was cute because that TV show Catfish, one of the hosts on it is named Max, and he has gray hair, and I always used to tell one of my friends in college how I thought Max was so cute and I loved his gray hair. And so when I met you, even though there wasn't a love interest at all, I just thought that you were cute. I thought your gray hair was cute.
Thank you.
So that was in 2011.
Yeah.
So
and camp ended, and we just both went our separate ways. And then
you went out to California for a while.
Yeah. And then came back to Texas, and then you moved to, I didn't think about you or anything until like I heard you moved to Austin, and then I was like, well, that's cool, and I thought I was going to Austin one time, and I knew you were down there because I like on Twitter and stuff you were just talking about it, and I was like, I liked Blair, she was really cool, and I asked you out to get coffee while I was in town because I went to Austin City Limits. And you couldn't get coffee with me, but you were dating somebody else at the time anyway. I wasn't trying to date you.
No, you were trying to catch up.
Yeah, I was just trying to say hey.
But I couldn't even do that because I was in California for work.
Yeah, and you had a boyfriend still. And I was like, oh well. And so I had a good time, and we just didn't get to meet up. But you were like on my mind at that point, I guess. I don't know. And then in January, I heard you were single, and so I just started talking to you on Facebook one morning at work.
9
I messaged
a.m.
you at 9 a.m. And,
it was the strangest. I just need you to understand, like, we were not close friends.
No.
So I hadn't talked to him. I thought he lived in Utah.
Yeah.
And I hadn't talked to him in like 3 years at that point, except for maybe a few like social media interactions.
Yeah.
And I get to work, it's 9 a.m. and I have a Facebook message from Riley Lamb, like, chatting me up. And I'm like, what's happening? Like, I thought you were like cool, but it felt really random.
Yeah.
Random to me.
You were excited.
I felt like it was random. I didn't really feel any which way. I was like not sure what the situation was.
That's how I start.
So then what happened? We started talking.
And we haven't stopped talking since then.
True, that is true.
Since that morning.
So that was January 2014.
And then we just started talking a lot, and then we got each other's numbers. I don't know how much later. It was
not that much later.
It was gradual.
Uh-huh.
But pretty fast, because by the end of February, we went on our first date.
Uh-huh.
We met halfway between Denton and Austin. And
so Waco. I guess we should clarify that. We weren't living together in Austin.
I lived in Denton, Texas, which is north of Dallas, 30 miles north of Dallas.
Which is about, what, 3.5 or 4 hours from Austin.
Uh-huh. And then right halfway-ish is Waco, is between Denton and Austin.
Which is where the fixer-upper people are from, for a point of reference. That's where Waco is. For
coffee. Because we talked about coffee a lot.
Yeah, we just both really liked coffee.
And so we did, and we had a 9-hour-long date. And then we
went to get coffee.
Yeah.
And then
we were hungry.
We got hungry because we've been talking for so long.
All I ate was that fudge.
Yeah, Riley panicked. On our first date, we both, like, I got like a latte, he probably got iced coffee.
Yeah.
And I think you were hungry and you panicked, so he ordered like this brick of fudge from the coffee shop.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
Yeah. Was it green or something?
No, it had walnuts or something in it.
It was weird. I was starving.
Yeah. Anyway, so we talked for hours at the coffee shop, so we were both starving. And we had also talked about our love of Cracker Barrel, which is funny, but it's just good food.
Yeah.
So we actually went there.
For a couple hours. We were at Cracker Barrel.
Say what the waiter said.
Oh yeah, I went into Cracker Barrel, and Blair went to the restroom, and I went and got us a table. And so he put us way in the back, and I knew Blair wouldn't be able to see us.
Yeah.
So I kind of stood there, and I was like, thanks for bringing the table, and I kind of like was watching out into the little gift shop out there, waiting for her to catch her eye. And he was like, waiting for the wife. He was like, wife, you waiting for your wife or your girlfriend? And I was like, girlfriend? And it was so
it was our first date.
And I was like, I didn't know what to say. So I said girlfriend, and I was terrified the rest of that meal, because I thought he was going to come over and be like, oh, she showed up, or say something about, like, your girlfriend showed up or something. Oh, that was not fun.
Yeah, and then I would have just been like...
That turkey, he really freaked me out.
Then we ate Cracker Barrel.
Then we walked a little bit over and went to Starbucks.
Yeah, the first coffee shop we went to was like a little cool, little unique thing. It wasn't like a Starbucks.
No, so Starbucks, coffee, food, coffee. Yeah. And then it was late.
Yeah, it was late at night.
So we met at like 1:30 or 2 in the afternoon.
Yeah, probably 2.
Yeah.
On February 22nd. Whoa, 2:22 at 2.
Huh.
I never thought about that.
It's crazy.
So anyway, our first date went really well.
Mm-hmm.
How did you feel when you left?
I felt great. I was like, when are we gonna get back together, I wonder.
Yeah.
And
I felt like I wasn't I don't know how to say this. It wasn't like love at first sight. Like, I didn't feel like I was in love with him at first sight, but I knew that I would marry him after our first date. It was like I had been looking for someone exactly like you for years, and I just knew you were exactly the right fit for me. But it wasn't like I had this like swell of emotion and I was just like...
It was like an arranged marriage. You were like, I know this is the right person for me. And the love will come. The love will come.
Well, I was definitely, like, I was attracted to you. My point is I wasn't in love with you right away.
Well, I wouldn't think so.
I think that's pretty rare.
No, yeah, I thought you looked really hot, and I liked you a lot. So.
Wow. Oh, I was so nervous about my outfit. You were too.
Yeah, I brought like 2 shirts in case I wanted to change the last minute. I went and bought pants like the day before at Macy's. So I was looking fresh. I wore my blue glasses.
I remember that.
I had blue rimmed Warby Parker glasses.
They were very hipster. And I went to Nordstrom Rack and I still have most of the stuff.
Yeah.
I got like this black top and a tan sweater. Like a little, actually a lot like what I'm wearing right now. I was wearing
something just like this.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And jeans, and I got new shoes and I still have them. Yeah, because I had been dating someone for almost 3 years until that January. And so I hadn't been on a first date in a very long time. And I don't know, I wasn't like terrified, but I definitely had some butterflies in my stomach. So I was like, maybe a new outfit will make me feel more confident. So I did. I remember texting my friends and being like, how should I wear my hair? I was like, I don't want to look like I'm trying too hard. And they were like, you should curl it. And I was like, no, that's going to seem like I'm trying too hard. But I did curl. I know. Now, now I know you wouldn't have noticed. But at the time, anyway, I wore my hair curled.
You weren't wearing a purple shirt?
No, I was wearing a black shirt.
With the sweater?
Mm-hmm. Like a flyaway cardigan.
What perfume were you wearing?
Flower Bomb by Victor Ross.
Yeah, it's a good smell.
Yeah. So that was our first date. So that was February 22nd. Yeah. So by the end of March, we were officially dating.
Yeah. March 8th, I drove down to Austin to make you sushi.
Yeah, but that wasn't when we started dating.
No.
It was later in March.
Yeah. Did we go to Rosa's?
Yeah, we went to this little Mexican restaurant and Riley basically asked me to be his girlfriend.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the end of March. So we started talking in January. By the end of March, we were like officially dating.
Yeah.
And then I don't know when we said I love you. Pretty shortly thereafter.
Yeah, we were up
probably
here.
In April.
Probably.
Yeah, probably in April. And you said it first. And I remember where you were standing. I remember what you were wearing.
You do?
Yeah, and I knew you were about to say it.
I remember we were in my apartment.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And in front of that big anchor.
Yes.
Vinyl.
Yeah.
I had a big vinyl anchor on my wall right when you walked in. It was weird. But we were right there.
Yeah. And you said I love you, and I said I love you too. And then basically we just dated from 4 hours apart. We would try to see each other on the weekends. We would meet halfway a lot.
We drove a lot. We saw each other like every weekend.
I put lots of miles on my car.
Yeah.
Oh, and then I asked him to go to the beach with my family. We always go in June, at the end of June. And when I asked him, it was probably in April. And it felt really soon.
Because it was before we said I love you. Like, you know,
so it might have been even in March.
Yeah.
So we hadn't even been dating for very long, but it was like very clear that we were gonna get married. Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I thought so.
Yeah, I think we hadn't, it was so early on that we hadn't really just aggressively discussed that. Yeah. But anyway, I wanted him to come to the beach to meet my family, but I remember feeling like this is aggressive.
Yeah.
Like we've been dating for not very long to ask him to come to the beach with my family. But I knew that by the time June came around, I would be kicking myself if I hadn't asked you sooner so you could get off work.
Yeah. Yeah. It was pretty bold.
So we went to the beach. How was that?
It was great. I had a good time. It was kind of like a fast dating.
Yeah.
It felt like it was like really, because I bought that ticket to go there early.
Yeah.
I don't remember how I told my friends and family that. I was like, I'm sure I've told you about Blair. Well, I'm going to South Carolina with her.
Yeah.
Or something. I don't know how I broke it to them or how they felt. Everyone in my life just really like, okay.
Everyone in my life, even though I had just gotten out of a long-term relationship, as soon as I started dating Riley, or just even when I first had met him, when I started talking about him, I can name probably 5 or 6 friends who said, I have such a good feeling about this. I feel like this is it. They just could tell by the way I talked about you or our relationship or something. They just I just can vividly remember being in different places on the phone with different friends who were just like so convinced.
Yeah.
And they were right.
It's good. Yeah.
So then I met your family on 4th of July.
Oh yeah.
So neither of us had an easy like wading into each other's families.
No, it was,
you came on a beach vacation with my family, and I went to the lake house where your whole family was.
There's a lot of
4th of July.
Yeah, it was like 20-something people.
Yeah.
And like strangers that aren't in my family.
Yeah.
Just, we have really big,
everyone's in-laws and random people.
Everyone's invited to the lake all the time.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of people. But yeah, that was.
But fun. I thought they were really nice.
You made blondie brownies.
Oh yeah.
I never forget food. And I made deviled eggs. I think I made deviled eggs.
Yeah, I think you did. So that was 4th of July. So then by early September, Labor Day weekend.
Right. We were in. Is that when I asked your parents?
Yep.
We were in Austin. And I don't know when I looked at the ring.
Earlier than that, because you already had it.
Yeah, and you told me like what rings you wanted. Like a long time before, because you had a Pinterest board.
Yeah, I just had a Pinterest board. We never went ring shopping together, so I didn't know.
So I went off that and
like timeline.
So I was in Austin, and Blair's mom and dad and brother and sister were all in Austin for the weekends, and I had to ask then, and I didn't have the ring. It was being like made or whatever, and we all went to church, and then we went back to the apartment. Oh, this is stressful just thinking about it. And we, so I didn't corner them, but I was like, hey, I asked both of her parents, I was like, do you guys want to get coffee with me? And they were like, sure. And I guess
I was walking ahead of you.
Yeah.
And so you were like, we're going to get coffee. And I was
cut
like,
them off, and
okay.
Blair and her brother and sister went on ahead. And we went on, and we went to Coffee Bean. Whew. And then it was stressful. So the joke is, whenever I took them there and I like asked them what they wanted. I don't know if I bought their drinks or something.
Yeah, you did.
And I set them down and I was so nervous. My eyeballs were shaking. So it was like everything was like out of focus, and I was like, and I felt so crazy. I felt like I was going crazy. I've never felt that nervous. My eyeballs were shaking. I felt like I was going blind. Like everything was vibrating, and it was just nuts. And I sat them both down, and I said, whatever, I don't remember what I said. I was out of my mind. It's like an out-of-body experience. But I asked them, they asked me questions, a lot of questions about our future and stuff, and I gave pretty good answers. And then they were like, okay.
You got their blessing.
Got their blessing. And
so that was beginning of September.
That was in September. And I had it all, I think I had it all planned. I called her friends to plan out the.
Hi Olivia.
Hi Olivia.
Thanks for helping with this.
I planned out my proposal because I wanted to do it in Baltimore with all of her family around and plan a big special thing around Christmas. So I planned it on the phone with her, and I talked to Blair's sister and all her friends just to make sure I got people there and everything worked out. Like everyone was in town that I didn't think were going to be in town. And so I worked it all out, and
yeah.
And I surprised you. Well,
so,
she wasn't surprised. I thought she was very surprised.
No, I was surprised, but by the time the day came, you were acting weird enough that I kind of thought it was going to be that day.
But you thought it was going to be Thanksgiving.
Well, that's true. I actually thought it was going to be the month before Thanksgiving. So then when that didn't happen, I thought, well, I guess it's going to be around Christmas. Because, I mean, we were very serious. We had obviously discussed marriage quite a lot. It wasn't like a surprise that we were getting engaged. This was not a long relationship. No. It was short. It was quite short. Yeah. So we ended up getting engaged on December 27th. So I was at home I was in Maryland for the holidays, and Riley flew up. And his birthday is the 27th. So I did think that we were going to get engaged over the Christmas break. I did think that. I didn't suspect it was going to be on your birthday.
Good.
It just seemed like you would like want your birthday to yourself.
That was the plan.
I mean, you know what I mean. So that was surprising. So, but anyway, so we went on this kind of adventure, and we were downtown at the Inner Harbor, and it was so beautiful. It was just a beautiful day. It was warm. It wasn't even cold, and
I wore a big like trench coat to hide the rain in.
That's true.
So I had the ring in the box.
It was, if you know Baltimore, it was up on Federal Hill. I'll insert a couple of pictures. It was really, really pretty. And my sister is a photographer, and she literally in the December I mean, it was like 40 degrees. It was warm for December, but it wasn't warm in general.
Yeah, I was thinking it wasn't that warm.
She was,
I had to time it to her because I wanted her to take the pictures in like secret from far off.
Right.
And so I had to wait till like 2:30 or it was pretty late actually.
Yeah.
And
so Allie was like rolling in the bushes.
So we had to like waste time down in the harbor and be like, oh, look at that dock. Let's go walk out on that dock. And we had to waste time.
So it was like this weird day of just like exploring.
A lot of time at Urban Outfitters.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time there. Anyway, so we walked up to Federal Hill. We were standing and looking at the view, which is beautiful. Riley proposed, and you said people clapped. There were some other people if there wasn't crowded.
Someone else had just gotten engaged. Remember that? With the
well, they got engaged after us.
Sprite in their pocket?
Yes.
Man.
There's this guy that had a giant bottle of Sprite in his pocket and he proposed to his girlfriend right after. But besides that, there weren't that many people up there.
No.
Everyone says that, like you and Allie say, that the people that were there were clapping.
Yeah.
But I don't remember like hearing any of that.
Wow.
But I remember what you said. I just don't remember hearing any of the clapping. But once I came to and I realized that we had just gotten engaged, I do remember hearing the shutter of a camera going off and wondering like what that was. Like, was that for us? And then my little sister comes like rolling out of the bushes with her camera and she was like, congratulations. And it was like such a fun moment. So we got engaged.
Then we got in the car and I was like, let's go have dinner to celebrate.
Yeah.
And this was the surprise. Then we got to the restaurant and we kind of like ignored the real restaurant and took those stairs.
Yeah.
Which, you know, like they kind of blew the surprise because it's like, why are we just taking these stairs like we know what we're doing? And we went upstairs and everyone was hiding up there. But, and then that was a big surprise.
So there's a whole like
we had
party.
The whole upper room to ourselves.
It was really fun and people were so generous. Some of my friends brought gifts and it was just like such a fun celebration.
Yeah.
So speeding ahead, we were engaged for almost exactly 7 months. That was December 27th, 2014. So within a year of reconnecting in January, we were engaged by the end of the year. And then the following 2015, we were married on July 31st. Mm-hmm. So it was about almost exactly 7 months. And during that entire time, I was still living in Austin.
Yeah. I was living up here.
We decided to look at venues in both locations.
Yeah.
Anyway, after we had gotten engaged, we found this venue that we ended up getting married at. It's called the Milestone. It's in Denton, and it's just absolutely perfect and beautiful. It's exactly what I wanted. And so we booked that, and it was the kind of place where it was like a big package. So catering was through the Milestone. They had a cake vendor that they always used. They had a DJs that they always used. They had... what else?
All the chairs and tables.
All the tables and chairs, all the decor, all the flowers, everything. Like I got to customize it, and certain things were at different upcharges and whatnot, but everything was beautifully done through the Milestone, which is what allowed me to be able to plan my wedding from 4 hours away.
Yeah.
It would have been really hard to do if I had to be meeting with all different vendors, but since it was kind of like a one-track thing, we had a pretty short engagement, it made sense.
Yep. Perfect.
Yeah.
It was great.
And then we had our wedding day and our honeymoon.
Yeah.
It was so much fun. Our wedding day was so much fun. It was like overcast, and so the sky was just like bright white. So our pictures are just like this diffused, beautiful lighting. Yeah. And it like stormed in the background.
Yeah.
Like we got married in front of these windows, and in the far, way in the background, not like, I don't know how to say that, not in the foreground, like not right where we were, but you could see, it's Texas, so it's flat. Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
In the distance. You could see it was, in the pictures you can see it's storming and whatever. And rain is a sign of blessing in the Bible, and I just thought that is such a beautiful thing while we were getting married that it was raining. So our wedding day was beautiful. And
here we are.
And then we went on our honeymoon to the Bahamas.
All right.
So anyway, our wedding day was just beautiful. It was exactly what we wanted. We had so many friends and family come fly into town, drive into town, and it was just perfect. We just had such a great day. On my blog, I have our wedding film, which is just beautiful. Yeah. And so I'll link that in the down bar below if you're interested in seeing more about what the details of our wedding day. But it was perfect. It was exactly what we wanted it to be, and I just cherished it. It was great.
It's perfect.
So then 2 days later, we left on our honeymoon.
We went to the Bahamas. Sandals.
We went to Sandals.
which I always thought was so stupid and cheesy, but it was the best.
Yeah, when we were dating, we would always be like, oh, all these couples going to Sandals.
And like The Office makes fun of it.
Yeah, it's just like, it is like very cliche. However, I totally get it, because after having planned a whole wedding and deciding a billion details, it was the best thing ever just to go somewhere all inclusive.
Oh yeah.
Everything was there.
They pick you up.
Everything's taken care of.
You don't have to do anything. Oh man.
And it was totally relaxing. We
Yeah.
just laid around and slept. It was so great.
So good.
So that was our honeymoon. What we haven't mentioned is the whole moving situation. So right before, 2 weeks before we got married, I moved up here into our apartment. Riley didn't move in with me until after we got married. But we had decided while we were engaged, obviously we needed to decide to live in Austin or to live up here in North Texas. We actually originally decided to live in Austin, but it didn't work out.
No.
So couldn't find work in Austin.
Yeah, not good paying work.
No, right.
What I do.
So we decided that. So I moved up here. 2 weeks later we got married. You moved in, obviously, after we got back from our honeymoon. We started our life, and we lived in that little apartment for about 8 months, and we started house hunting.
Yeah. That we house hunted the whole time. We started house hunting right when we got engaged, and it was a nightmare. Couldn't find anything. Everything sold immediately or was terrible and old.
Yeah, we're in a small town, so there aren't very many options to begin with. And then what we could find was either, really old and needed just so much work that we just really didn't have that time or energy or money to do.
Yeah.
Or
got bought right away.
was bought in minutes. And we put in bids on several houses that we didn't end up getting. It was just like, it was a really draining process.
Yes.
But it was exciting. It was just a lot.
I loved it.
A lot of emotions.
I love looking at houses, and I loved it. So I wanted to find a house. I didn't want to like delay.
Right.
But I had a good time the whole time. Blair got sick of it.
Yeah.
Which I understand.
The journey was not as fun for me. I think because I felt already really uprooted out of Austin, and then we were living in this apartment that we knew was temporary, and I was just ready to be somewhere that felt like home, I think.
Yeah.
And it took like over a year. Yeah. We found this house and we put in a bid right away and we got it. And that was last March. So it's been a year and a month.
Yeah.
Since we moved into this house.
Great house.
Yeah. So is that basically our story? I think so. So that's basically our relationship story, from first meeting to reconnecting, dating, getting engaged, getting married, moving in together, and then moving into our first home. So now here we are. And it's funny because we've known each other technically since 2011, but we've really only known each other since the beginning of 2014. 2014. So it's only been like 3 years, and that is the craziest feeling in the world. It feels like we've known each other for so much longer than that.
Yeah. Yeah, it all felt like as fast as this video. Like 20 minutes long.
It did. It felt just like zipping through. I think this is going to be more like 30 minutes long.
Yeah. That's fun.
Anyway, I just wanted to share our story, and I just think it's fun. I think it's fun to find out how couples met and fell in love and how that all went. Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed hearing our story. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them below, or if you want clarification on something. I feel like we flew through that, but it was just fast.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank y'all so much for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day. See you guys soon.
Goodbye.
Bye.